Well, Merry Christmas, folks. This is not exactly what we were planning for, but circumstances meant that Job fell off the sleigh once again. So we had to find something different because Jingle Jangle is supposed to be his pick, and we did not want to usurp that. So as a result, let's have something more simple and easy, and something we technically never tackled before in this. A Marvel comic adaptation in animated format. Particularly a standalone movie. As far as I know, this should not be connected to any of the Marvel cartoons. Called Marvel Superior Adventures Frostfight from 2015, directed by Mitch Scholler, which has done a shitload of stuff, including other Marvel cartoons like Hulk and the Agents of Smash, Thor: Tales of Asgard. Also a TV movie called Michael Jackson's Halloween. I'm not sure I want to know that one. And one of the Bionicle movies, so I kind of know already this guy a bit. Also, mostly written by a guy called Mark Banker. Not too much to say of this. This is basically a TV special in which sees a classic team of Avengers that people know these days. Cap, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk. In this case, also Captain Marvel, plus some minor supporting character, having to save Christmas by saving Santa from the grasp of Loki. So you're basically accustomed with almost 95% of the characters, if I recall correctly. I haven't actually seen the movie, however, so it's a bit of a surprise for everyone. I cannot guarantee the quality in any capacity, but let's check it out, shall we? Start before the movie is literally about to start. You can find this on Disney Plus very easy. Almost all of the Disney-owned Marvel stuff is there, guaranteed. And start before the classic Marvel comic flipping logo that transitions into the title of the movie. In 3, 2, 1, click. I don't have too much of an experience with Marvel animated stuff post the 90s. I know that Mighty Mythological was actually a good series, but I haven't seen much of it. Oh. Let's see. We have most recurring, a couple of recurring voice actors that were voicing characters at the time. Mike Winger for Iron Man, Travis Willingham for Thor, Matt Mercer for Captain America, of course, right at the shore for Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Griffin for Captain Marvel, Trey Baker for Loki. And we'll see more of that. This ice giant is supposed to be Ymir, a recurring villain for Thor. So it's a bit. We actually have seen it in the Thor video game I recorded, but. Wow, someone did suggested this the other day. Yeah, in case you don't have too much experience with the character, Blibs, in the comics and in most of the animated series, Thor always speaks very flowery.
Right.
The DMCU actually did a joke or two about that. Ooh. That's Anthony Del Rio instead as the character of Reptile. Someone we don't know that much, we actually haven't seen much of. If I recall correctly, he was one of the Young Avengers. And yeah, around this time, this was around the time where Carol Danvers officially became the new Captain Marvel. Before that, she was only called Miss Marvel, and all you need to know is the fact that she changed costumes a couple of times, and more recently she sat on this one and taking official Captain Marvel. It looks like a nice version of Pandora's box.
But instead of a curse, I guess the whole world would freeze over.
Basically. Oh well. Wow, Anthony Del Rio really sounds a bit like a Pete. To be fair, he was voicing the character on this time. And there's Loki, voiced by Troy Baker in this version, interestingly enough.
And Captain America was frozen in ice again.
I guess he's used to that, Lives.
Well, sorry guys, we're gonna have to wait 60 years.
I don't know. I didn't think I'd get this far.
Well then, allow me to suggest your next move. Snap.
Alright, Reptile was part of the Avengers Academy, which meant he was forced to, if I recall correctly, go through that stupid Battle Royale rip-off called Avengers Arena, I think? Basically, shtick is that he can shape-shift to have dinosaur parts. Yeah, it's a bit busy.
How does ice hurt him?
It's more the case of concussion of projectiles.
I would say that he just leaps up into the air like he's in a cartoon, but well,
Let me check. Yeah, you can tell that this is more, based more for a more younger audience. Let me check what the main writer of this, Mark Banker, did. He wrote for the Croods TV series, the Captain Underpants TV special, and a couple of other ones. The Danger Mouse 2016 series. Basically a fuck ton of cartoons too. Oh goody, he wrote 3 episodes of the Sonic Boom series.
Well, to be fair, that show is okay. I don't think it's nearly as good as people say it is. It's just okay. At least from what I've seen. I only saw a handful of episodes, and they were okay.
Also, a good chunk of Adventure Time, actually. 40 episodes.
Also, like, comparing something like this to Sonic Boom is also kind of apples and oranges, so...
Well, yeah, no one's doing that.
Might be okay writing stuff like this, maybe? We'll see.
The humor has been a bit hit and miss, but I don't see anything particularly wrong with it. Like I said, it feels this is just more for a relatively younger
audience. This movie is made for kids. It's not meant for the MCU audience. It's clearly made for a very young... This is meant to introduce 5-year-olds to the Marvel characters, basically. So...
And again, it's literally about a special of them saving Christmas. I get the idea, it's more also tongue-in-cheek. Ow.
Oh no, Batman is dead!
Tony, the booze must be taste great today, isn't it? Oof.
Christ, Tony's really unsympathetic to someone potentially nearly dying.
Oh, trust me, Dweebs, you have no idea.
Not to mention those. Yeah.
He sounds like if Arnold Schwarzenegger had a bad throat.
That's still Predator surely also is Ymir, but he sounds a bit more like the heavy weapons guy from Tier 2. I get the idea Troy is having a bit too much fun voicing Loki in this.
I mean, when you're voicing Loki, that's kind of the point. So.
Considering
If you're
the
not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
considering the thick British accent, it reminds me a bit of when he voiced Ratatoskar in the first God of War Norse game. Yup. That's our plot. Ymir and Loki will think their best base of operation to invade is the North Pole in Santa.
Okay then.
Don't
Sure,
take
why
it,
not?
don't take this too much into discount. However, recently DC Comics is having a weird canonical story arc in which one of the many mentors of Batman during this year of training thing that he had. With the League of Assassins and everything, was Santa, and Superman is jealous of that, apparently.
Why do you get to hang out with Santa, but I can't?
Basically.
So Santa Claus is a god. Who knew?
Lord. Okay,
Well, he's supposed to be Saint Nick.
yeah, but by laws of, by laws of having, time dilation and everything, waves, I don't remember specifically, but there's a very 90% chance of that Santa is actually canonical to the Marvel Universe in some fashion. I just don't remember in what capacity.
And remember, Theo, he's also canonical into the terrain of Testament / Warriorverse because of that spin-off where Warrior rapes Santa.
Rapes him.
So
Yeah, it's a doozy.
Okay. For the sake of easing Shiroi, no, okay. Technically, we don't know what happened. Sure, it's just that the picture that shows Warrior and Santa in that panel doesn't leave much for the imagination. That's the problem.
Sure, I'll
extra context-
trust your judgment.
For extra context, if you don't know, Shiro, the Ultimate Warrior was a wrestler, basically an armchair of a person, and he made a set of comic books, and the Christmas special was a set of posters without dialogue, just to say, oh, let's have fun with the concept of the Ultimate Warrior fucking things up during Christmas.
His shtick, Shiro, is that his promos, as in the stuff where he's just speaking to the mic, right? He would just say the most nonsensical, rambling shit you will ever heard. Like seriously, like you can. I've watched hours of his stuff, Shiro, and to this day, I still cannot understand a single thing he's trying to get across with whatever he's saying.
Fair.
And someone thought, you know who would be good to write a comic book? This guy. Like.
I mean, I've read a lot of manga, but can I be qualified to say that comic books are very weird, even with comparison to manga?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh no, sure. Both manga and comic books are just weird. The people who say otherwise don't know what they're talking about, or they're just plain liars.
All right, let's have Loki trying to conquer the North Pole.
So he's the Grinch of today's Christmas story.
Sure, why not?
All right, first we need to get a bit to the Savage Land. Yeah, that's a thing
Oh.
the game you hasn't told yet. There's an entire gigantic island with a fuck ton of dinosaurs roaming around.
Also, Theo, you mean the ultimate Savage Land?
No, that's for the Ultimate Universe. Whoop. I think I get why they put Reptile in the team. It's more of a case of, so Cap can have a sort of a sidekick for the story, which, fair enough. I can see this as a good story arc. To be fair, Cap, like the Avengers team is kind of like the town bicycle. If you've been in the Marvel universe, chances are you have been an Avenger at some point.
I was gonna say, well, that's the thing though. In the recent, the last couple of Avengers movies, the Avengers get split up a lot.
It's because again, you're mostly referring to the live-action movies.
Wait, what movie are you talking about, Dibs?
The Avengers movies where the Avengers get forcibly split up from each other.
You're talking about Infinity War and stuff like that. Well, the thing is, you have to understand. When Chris and Steven started writing that, they thought, okay, there's a lot of characters, so how do we juggle all this? Simple. We split them off in groups. That way, we can focus on just a handful at a time in each individual, instead of having all of them together all the time, which would be very hard to juggle.
Also, more digestible for the audience,
Yeah.
probably. Uh-oh.
And Hulk talking full sentences.
That's actually been a thing in comics at some points, Dibs.
At this point, Bruce is not exactly on the smart Hulk for this version of a character, but it's getting.
I mean,
there.
you've seen. I mean, you've.
Yeah,
I
I have
you've-
seen Endgame, but
So, yeah.
but that was like the vibe I got from that was that he's part way through Bruce and Hulk, whereas this is full Hulk.
It's something that happens sometimes in comics. There's been times, like for example, there's a comic that's all about both the Hulk and Bruce coming to terms with each other and genuinely working together within their own psyche. And that's where
Apparently, the deleted scene in Infinity War was supposed to actually have that transition. Into
because usually what happens is that Stan Lee's original inspiration for Hulk was Frankenstein and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and in those stories it's both a man and a monster who don't care for each other, or they're opposites and shit like that. But there have been writers who put their own spin by making it so that basically turning the Hulk into a metaphor for mental health, right? Where it's all about coming to terms with your demons and shit like that. Kind of like was the direction of the storyline in the Moon Knight Marvel show for Disney Plus.
You have to understand is that having decades of material to work with allowed a lot of writers to explore different facets of this concept, having the Hulk and Bruce at different stages of Sapiens consciousness and wisdom.
The Hulk. It's also one of those. It's like Stan Lee always says. Like when a comic book has been going on for literally decades, eventually you need to start doing different things and change the status quo, because otherwise things just get stale.
So before we get to the North Pole, we have to fight dinosaurs first.
It's
Sure.
more a diversion that's happening, yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Oh god. So I did not want this Animals reboot.
That was a smooth transformation. Oh my god.
Just TFing casually. Oh, that's adorable. Ew.
That's your mom now.
Could have been worse. Again, just be glad that brought back Khazar. Basically, a a Tarzan sort of pastiche, where you instead growing up in a jungle in Africa, grew up in the savage land fighting dinosaurs. Oh well. Meanwhile,
the Guardians of the Galaxy are.
yeah, because the first movie had been raising was a success, so they actually had Rocket and Groot being advertised extra for this. I know this one. Rocket is voiced in this version by Trevor Devall, while Kevin Michael Richardson voices Groot.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think Trevor Devall is doing a good job. God damn it, Rocket.
And they died. Okay.
It's I will mention this eventually when we get to the Guardians movie, but you have to understand one thing, Waves. The James Gunn movie, especially the team that starred in the James Gunn movie, is not technically the first Guardians of the Galaxy team. It's composed by a bunch of characters which, when it was eventually formed in the comics, it had already each of them had already a backstory and were introduced beforehand. It was just a team that had.
Although in that movie they actually do have the OG Guardians make a kind of cameo thing.
I think in this, and I think in the second it's basically spelled.
Basically, the Stallone character.
Steals cookies. I knew it.
Yeah, basically, the Stallone character from Guardians of the Galaxy is actually meant to be one of the original.
And like I said, their cameo in the second movie is more Brent and that. Oh Jesus.
Candyland?
Are we in Sonic colors? Oh.
How big is Captain America's neck in this film?
Depends on the artist, but sometimes it bulges to ridiculous degrees.
Yeah.
Just
I'm surprised. I'm surprised he can turn his head.
don't look up Rob Liefeld artwork.
Like, even Hulk has some semblance of, like, an actual neck, like, going on there.
Yeah.
It's the reverse of that plug-and-play console that has a picture of a kid that seems to have no neck. It's just like...
Something I recently found out when I was watching an Iron Man 1 movie review is that apparently Jarvis originally is
a
just,
butler, yes, a
Yep.
human
a
being.
butler like Batman, but the movie Iron Man 1 changed it to a computer because, well, The Dark Knight was out. That's
It's a bit of a shame because Jarvis, the human character, actually had, its own set of personality and story arcs. At some point, they even tried to ship him with Aunt May, believe it or not.
But Marvel didn't have any rights to Spider-Man movie-wise yet.
Well,
Yeah.
I was talking about the comics, Dweebs. Basically, Dweebs, the stuff that the stuff that happens between her and Happy Hogan in Far From Home, that was basically a reference to that. Okay. Yeah, I think that's enough. Also, Tony, you're just saying that because your father never gave you an atomic reactor when you were 8.
Well, he died when he was 8, I think. Actually, I think it was in his late teens when he died.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, the footage specifically was in 1991 in universe.
So you have 4 right in front of you, and yet you don't believe in Santa. Okay.
Arbitrary skepticism for the win.
It's like when Tails said, like, the wisp powers and such were hard to
Also-
believe.
Not just that. No.
Wait, hang on, wait a minute. What's the Stargate doing here?
Because, Dwebs, because.
A lot of incarnations in story tend to use portals similar to that.
I mean, trust me, if you think Stargate was the first movie to do, the first work efficient to use a portal, I got some news for you. But,
I mean, the design of it looks pretty similar to a Stargate.
again, that's because this design in Stargate is like every generic portal design you've ever seen, you know? Sure, forget the whole, being skeptical about the wisp powers. How about the fact that the game literally starts with Sonic saying, "All right, let's see what new evil plan Eggman is," and he's like, "An evil plot? I don't know." And I'm like, "What? In what game has Eggman never had an evil plot, Tails? Like, what?"
The games he wasn't in.
Well, okay, fine. Aside from those.
Hey, you asked the question, and I got your answer.
Genuinely trying to think of an answer.
No, it's one of those things where, again, you can tell that Pontak and Graf didn't know the characters beforehand, because that's like that feels out of character for Tails to say.
An amusement park definitely isn't evil. Have you seen how pricey the food is?
I know, right? I've been Alton Towers, great place to go, but the prices of the refillable drinks.
I haven't been there in years.
I've changed some things around.
There's also this fact that in this mid-2010, roughly, was a period where Tony was actually given a more heavy towards science kind of characterization, and that also meant also more of his arbitrary skepticism. The entire stupid as fuck impetus for Civil War 2, yes, they did a sequel to that Forsaken story in the comics, was that because they found a character who had some precognition ability, and Tony was not exactly super okay with the idea of, use that to prevent disasters due to unpredictability factors. But it passed it off as he was just skeptic.
Don't be such a. It's like that moment in Prometheus, where it's like, wait, don't take out the helmet. We don't know if the atmosphere. Oh, don't be such a skeptic. What do you mean skeptic? That's not being a skeptic. That's just being careful.
It's fine, Pedro. Oh wow, my hand is melting.
Stupid movie.
Yeah, speaking of making bad decisions. In case you're wondering about the attires, in the Marvel universe, everyone involved in the Norse mythology tends to have a more technological kind of design to reflect also more new characterization started in the early 2000s. Thank you. How much have you drunk,
Tony,
Tony?
no, don't do that, please.
Yeah, I'm still running with this head cannon. There you go. Of course. Tony.
Why not?
Okay.
Aw, Hulk's a brony.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I think Tony needs some ale. Oh,
He has clocked out of that conversation.
just like disengaging. Oh God. Don't also take into account also that one of the early stories of Rocket had him fighting the Range Claws. Oh.
Stop staring into my soul, please.
Yeah, just eat them.
That's your answer to everything, Rocket.
Just eat them. You know, you'll fill your belly up and you'll get rid of the enemy.
Well, what Rocket said, it's probably stale.
See? Now look what's happened. You can't escape, we're the gingerbread men.
They actually even made a horror series out of that concept with.
There was actually a Doctor Who villain made it out of sweets at one point.
I think I remember that, yeah.
I think it was a story called The Happiness Patrol, and yeah. Doctor Who was known in the late 80s for starting to improve itself, although stories like that
Yeah.
didn't help. There you go, Kraken. We killed it off screen. Oh, sorry. Oh, you meant the other Kraken.
How?
Call this movie How Loki Stole Christmas.
Basically. Man, Ymir kinda sucks in this. He should be more powerful.
She just hates it. The best laid plans go awry and you end up in oblivion.
I was frozen today.
Hey, you get a nice ice coat.
I guess.
It looks like he's wearing a jacket. What a shame.
Troy is super fruity in this movie.
So is this around the time where Marvel decided to have the characters either look or sound or both like the ones from the movies?
Yes, this is why this movie has, Rocket and Groot shoehorned in, even if they're not part of the team. Why the service is on AI like that. It's very common, it's a very common tactic. And remember, if I remember correctly, this is a, standalone movie that is not attached to any of the series. I don't even think this is connected to, like, Earth Mightiest Heroes or There was a TV series called Marvel Superior Adventures, but I checked it and it has completely different stuff, so it's not connected to that.
Sure you were, Tony. Yeah. Do it now. Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you don't know anything about Norse mythology, you know that Alfheim is always in a bit of a turmoil. Yes, that's Steel Blum. Because of course you cannot, again, even at this point, you basically have Steel Blum in everything.
Steve Blum as Santa. Okay. Sure, why not? I don't know. Thor's voice in this movie, he kind of sounds. He sounds a bit like those voices you get in American film trailers.
That's Travis Willingham for you, Dweebs. He has been voicing the character since the end of the 2000s, I think, if not even before that.
Huh.
Basically, for the cartoons and some video games, Marvel did had a set of consistent voice actors. I don't remember if no, the ones for the video game Marvel Avengers were different than these lot.
Although since we're on the subject of Marvel stuff, it'll be interesting next year, 2024. There's only one MCU movie.
Mm-hmm.
That compared to like what feels like 60 we had this year. Next year we're only getting one. Deadpool 3.
It's also because there are also a bunch of the Disney Plus series happening as well.
Yeah. Although to be fair, Deadpool 3 on its own should be
Enough, yes.
Should be enough for Disney. Well, they'll need it, especially considering how badly the Marvels did.
Let me check who she's voiced by. Jane Singer? Huh. She's been in case you don't know, she's mostly a video game voice actress.
Yeah. You know what? Screw reindeer. I can. I'll get us there on the jet. I mean, Loki can clone himself and make himself his own decoy, but
Well, yeah. Again, I was wondering if at some point he might have pulled a switcheroo and having, replaced that guy that they were carrying around the captain just for the sake of, trolling everyone else. But no, doesn't. Do. Yeah.
oh, I thought she said ass for a second there. I was like, is this a family film, right?
They actually added a bowling sound effect.
Snow down, ha ha ha.
Hilarious.
Funny.
See, Waves, you have found more ice puns.
I've already, honestly, I didn't make that one in our recent Dark Souls part because that would be too stupid.
Are the veto dice puns allowed here?
Yeah.
Oh. Parlay.
Yeah. Freeze, or else I will fire kryptonite at you.
Everyone's so bah humbug in this movie.
Yeah, why is everyone so mean?
Where's the
It's meant to be a
Christmas spirit?
Yeah, back to the Christmas spirit. Jolly good times for all. Yeah, are we ready for a test flight? Come see our movie in cinemas next year.
Like I said, Waves, the pompousness and a bit, ancient English is a prerogative of Thor that was in the comics and in this case the animated series.
Which makes it doubly ironic because Thor in the movies is played by an Australian.
Mm-hmm. I get the idea maybe Kenneth Branagh wanted to take the character in a different direction at first. I can't believe it worked again. For the record, Reptile, when it came to the Young Avenger team, was not even the most noticeable character. Everyone, basically, Nico Minoru was egging the spot all the time. Hmm.
Yeah, well, we couldn't think of anything else for you guys to do, so goodbye.
It's more of a case of a lot of inhabitants of the Nine Realms are stay confined there. Jesus.
Why not?
Because we can use that as a ramp. Okay. Interesting slow-mo effect.
Well, Rocket nearly died of a heart attack, and Groot's probably glad he doesn't have a heart. That I know of.
It's a bit more complex than that.
He has roots.
Ha. Oh shit, here we go again.
And Rocket and Groot died, I guess. Yeah, trust the trickster god.
He looks such a nice guy during the elections, Lives.
Is that a reference to something?
At one point, he actually ran for president.
Hang on, Loki's normally portrayed as British. Why don't you run for Prime Minister?
Because he prefers to target the Americans. If you haven't seen it, Loki Season 1 is a reference to that.
How's Captain America not cold?
Well, the super soldier serum
he's a
allows
super
many
soldier.
things, so yeah.
Not to mention Dribs. Allow me to remind you what his origin story is.
Remember, Dweebs, that among many, like the super soldier serum allows many different kind of things, including, for example, not being able to metabolize alcohol, and as such, you cannot get drunk.
I mean, he spent trapped in an iceberg for 70 years, Dwebs. I think at this point, this guy is pretty immune to cold.
I mean, he was unconscious, so he probably wouldn't feel the cold.
Bruce, no!
Yeah, breaking news, Santa terrorizes village.
Drone strike the wedding.
Yeah, there was this really old screensaver game that I had on my PC decades ago, where you're playing a Santa dropping the presents down the chimney, and one of the game overs you can get is if you cause too much damage dropping the presents onto houses as opposed to through the chimneys.
Huh.
And like has a headline saying Santa arrested for breaking stuff. Yes, home.
I like how Hulk is genuinely into the whole playing Santa thing.
I get the idea it's part of, the fact that, Bruce, despite everything, is the more childlike of the team, the adults, and as such, the one that will get mostly in with the spirit.
Eyes on the road, Grandma.
She's a Studio Ghibli driver, Shiri.
Yeah.
Well, we'd like to live, if that helps.
Never tell me the odds.
You're distracting the driver.
Wow, Rocket really is having a heart attack.
So basically, the whole subplot is just basically, how much can we scare the shit out of Rocket?
Basically. Of course.
Well, I guess Carol's found her new favourite holiday destination.
Mm-hmm.
God, you're boring.
Yeah, Tony in this movie is an asshole. Like, even more than
Wow,
usual. Holy
wow,
shit.
Tony being an arsehole. What a
Like,
revelation.
more than usual. Like, holy... I get the entire point of what you want to make, but holy shit.
Like, usually he's the funny asshole. Now he's just the asshole.
Just
Well-
the grumpy that doesn't... He basically need to represent the one person that doesn't believe in Santa until, the last second. I get the arc that he's going for, but...
Let's stick him on the Polar Express.
oh, God. Okay, so yes, Pedro?
Remember, when Stan created Tony, he said it was a personal challenge to himself. Where can I create a character who's this big corporate douchebag and still get people to be invested in him? Like that was his personal challenge that he imposed on himself when creating this character. So his unlikability is kind of part of it.
And yeah, that's part of Carol's also backstory, or being a pilot and everything. Of course. That's sweet.
Yeah, I never... that'll be an interesting take on that Mariah Carey song. All I want for Christmas is proof. So what's this now then?
Let's see. I mean, guess who?
He's next door.
Yeah, too easy. Damn it.
Lesson number 1. Don't talk while you're flying like that. You can get distracted and that'll happen to you.
As Mac will say, ice is nice.
We didn't need to invoke that.
Hey, damn, Shiroi,
now you
did
don't like the puns.
damn, damn, Shiroi, did the knack games hurt you profoundly or something? You seem
Me to death.
you seem to get very salty every time it gets mentioned.
They bored me to death.
Well,
It's a crime, actually.
I don't know, so did a lot of other games I've shown you, but you seem to have a particular liking for dissing knack.
I got a knack for it.
Now
Still better than any joke in the game. Let's go. Also, the reindeer all look so happy.
That's because they're props. They literally took the sleigh from the toy shop.
Oh.
They just basically they basically use Thor as the method of transportation.
As Santa Claus glows majestically.
Yeah, seriously, Santa is like having the what is called the Ultra Instinct aura. What the fuck? Shit.
It's called the Christmas spirit. You wouldn't get it.
But now Santa has those spirits.
How dastardly.
Well, I'm pretty sure one of them can, but I guess they're not in this team.
No.
Oh, actually, no, Captain Marvel can do that.
She can absorb energy, but I get the idea she cannot really for that shield.
I mean, I was referencing the Marvels.
It's different, Lives. And yes, both of them are voiced by Steve Blum just to keep up the thing, because it gave you the idea maybe this guy really was Santa in disguise.
Loki, you should know, turning your back on the Avengers is never a good idea. And punched in the throat from the looks of it. Damn. Ah, how cute.
Now say Santa's real.
Yeah.
Do
No.
it.
No. Oh boy, Iron Man snowball fight. Yeah, see? He can admit it.
There you go. That the story arc is complete.
Christmas is truly saved.
Hooray. All right.
God
Kind of
damn it.
forgot about him.
So is this going to be the cliffhanger?
No.
Oh.
We kind of needed something to have for Rocket.
Sure. Damn, Santa went on to hello and welcome to Pimp My Sleigh.
Basically. remember, that's the entire reason why he manages to do it, because, as we explained, being Norse, he basically dilates time-space so he can actually visit everyone on Earth in one night. Oh, hi, She-Hulk.
Yeah, I've had a nice present.
You're gonna wake everyone up with that singing.
Alright, I think we just end on these wallpapers, which look completely different in terms of our style, but who cares? Thank you for releasing me.
Thank you for releasing me. Even Rocky.
And Loki was forced to community service.
And Mrs. Claus is an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, this really has the vibe of a Silver Age story.
The presents that we made and the friends we made along the way.
Hilarious. They got Fred sure to do that.
Well, I've seen him do weirder things.
Yeah. Alright then, pretty sure that's no post-credit scene. I'll just leave this in the background, but I guess we can start the final thoughts. Waves.
It was alright. It's just the Avengers at Christmas doing Christmassy things. The copy was what I expected, and nothing more, nothing less. And it was, again, just fine. That's it. Not much more I can say, really.
It's also your first exposure to these kind of, these voice acting, these, not necessarily the design, but the more type of characterization, but it's actually closer to the comics than the movies. So I guess it's a bit of a new experience for you.
A couple of them didn't feel that much different from the movies, like Iron Man.
Mm-hmm. They did a good job for the most part, especially because also, like you said, this was the period of time where even, the cartoons and the video games trying to resemble a bit more instead the aesthetics of the MCU. But I can tell you that for people like Thor, they instead, are more close to their original counterpart.
I suppose. Alright, yeah, that's me done.
Pedro.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a perfectly serviceable Christmas special for what it is. And like I said, it serves as a perfectly serviceable introduction for a 5-year-old to the Marvel characters. So the characters are all basically work-following characters. Even Iron Man, like some people have said, like Theo said, like I personally don't have much of an issue with how Tony's written here. Honestly, I think it's fine. He's meant to be an asshole, as Stan Lee himself said. Even when he is at his oldest, like he is in Endgame, for example, like there always has to be some kind of dickish snark to him, because if you don't have that, then he loses his spice. And I think for 2015, yeah, this was this was about as I expect, honestly. Like I said, this is probably also the writers of this movie also probably took a lot more inspiration probably from Iron Man 1 Tony, rather probably. So I don't have a problem with how Tony's written here. Like, yeah, he this is all part of his character arc anyway. So whatever. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Shirei.
That was cute. I actually quite enjoyed it. It does its job, and that's about it, really. Not much you can really say about it.
I'll conclude then. Again, it's technically enjoyable, and like Pedro said, perfect for the target that it's aiming at. I can tell you that I really enjoyed the Troy Baker. I can tell you that Troy Baker had more enjoyment out of all of the voice actors having to voice Loki. You can definitely feel that with having to put this British accent and going over the top, because again, even before Tommy Hiddleston, that has always kind of been the characterization of Loki in all media. I would say that maybe sometimes the one-liners and puns get potentially a bit too corny, but like everyone said, it's because of the intended target audience. As a Christmas story, is perfectly serviceable, and it pulls up, one or two twists. Like it makes you believe maybe Nick is actually Santa in disguise on Earth, but no, he's actually, just a regular guy that Thor and Hulk kidnapped out of his job. But no, it's perfectly, serviceable as it is. Maybe not the super high note to conclude our Christmas run on it, but again, like we said at the beginning, it's a bit of an emergency case, and this is a perfectly, viable alternative. We don't even know if we will ever watch this again. Maybe Jova will want to do a generation at some point, but, it's perfectly fine as it is. All right. I hope you enjoy your Christmas day, and see you for eventually, if Jova feels better, Jingle Jangle. Otherwise, till next year.
See ya.
See ya.